Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What if you could connect your trading platform to an AI agent directly inside Visual Studio with just few lines of code? So Zerodha already has an MCP server, but it can't really place any orders. So I built one that can, and I'm going to show you how. In my last video, I explored the Zerodha's built-in MCP server. It exposed market data, but no order placements were there. Of course, you could have done a GDT order, but for algo tradings and AI agents, placing trades is the most crucial part. And that is what exactly I wanted to fix. So in today's video, we are first going to explore the VSCode's AI Toolkit, which lets us create custom MCP servers. We will then use Zerodha's SDK to build our very own Kite MCP server, but with trading capabilities. Then use that MCP server with an AI agent to perform live trading. And hopefully in this process, we will learn a thing or two. So with this context said, let's start the video. All right, I'm on my Mac now and let's open VS Code. And inside VS Code, I have already installed this AI Toolkit extension. If you don't have it, go to your tools, go to your extensions and install this AI Toolkit for VS Code. All right. So inside this, AI Toolkit, you will see this agent builder tool. Click that and give it a little while because it takes some time to load. Meanwhile, it is loading. You will see a couple of fields over here. The first one is the model. Now over here you can choose what LLM model you want to choose. It can be ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you want. Then you can give a system prompt, user prompt, variables and some tools. So we'll get to them one by one, but our foremost target is to install or to create a custom MCP server. So let the agent builder load completely and we'll choose a model and then we'll create our own custom MCP server. Okay, so the agent builder has loaded, and now if you see under models, we get a couple of things. We can use OpenAI ChatGPT from GitHub, or you can configure your own GPT-5 API key. For now, we are just testing, so let's just use OpenAI GPT 4.0 via remote GitHub. All right, cool. Now, if you come to this tools section, we don't really have any tools over here. So you click plus add tool over here, and you choose MCP server. Now, Kite is the server that we used. That is the built-in server given by Zerodha itself. We are not going to use that right now. Instead, we are going to add our own server. So you hit this add server button over here. And then we are going to choose create a new MCP server. And now we get two options, TypeScript and Python. Now, the VS Code gives us two options. Either we can create an MCP server using TypeScript or using Python. Whether, now why it is saying whether, the built-in template that VS Code gives us, it actually gives us placeholders where we can actually place our API calls. So whether is right now the template for the weather MCP server. So let me choose that and we'll see what actually is the weather template over here. And then we need to choose a default folder. Let it be the default one. And then enter the name of the Kite MCP server. I'm going to call it my Kite or my VS Code Kite MCP server and hit enter. Now, as soon as you hit enter, you will see another VS Code window coming up. Let me make it a little big. And here we see this preview readme MD. Now, this is the readme file. I strongly suggest you go through it. This will contain all the essentials on how you can actually set up and run and build it. But I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. But we are going to use this MD or the readme file as we move forward with the video. Now, what files do we have here? Index.ts is the first file. Oh, let's open that. Now, it is importing STD server transport and SSE server transport. What is SSE? Every time you talk to a LLM model, you give your prompt and then it says, okay, I'm thinking, and then it gives you a part of response and then it says, okay, I'm now calculating or checking something on the web or doing something else. And then the remaining part of the response comes back to you. So how does this happen? This happens over a SSE transport protocol. Now, what is the speciality of SSE? SSE stands for server sent events. Now, in a traditional HTTP protocol, send a request and then you get a response back and the flow is over. But in SSE, you send a request, server sends you a part of response, keeps the connection open, and then sends you the remaining part of the response. So the connection closes when the server knows that, okay, I have sent the entire response. Okay, so SAC allows servers to send partial responses back to the client. Okay, so we don't really have to worry about it. This video is not about SAC, it's about MCP server. So, okay, it is importing these two Node.js packages, and then it has got Express, and then it is using this server from /server. All right, and then we have got this arguments. We can either choose stdio or the SAC. If it is SAC, it is creating a new Express app, setting the transport layer, making a GET request for the message that we send, that we give it to, and then getting a post, and then getting sending a post to the post request. Okay, and then it is handling those post messages. Okay, so I think this is pretty straightforward, and there are a couple of console logs that we can see over here. So pretty straightforward. Index.ts. What next? Server.ts. Okay, what is that? MCP server. It is importing MCP server from this Node.js package. This is the heart of the project that we are trying to build, the Model Context Protocol SDK. Then it is using Zod for data type. This is our first tool, that is the get weather. What it does is takes a location, and then it does some calculations, set of conditions, sunny, rainy, cloudy, snowy. Then it is creating a weather object, setting the location, generating a random temperature in Fahrenheit, and then picking a random conditions from the top, and then returning that object as a JSON string. Cool, straightforward. Package JSON. So this contains the Model Context Protocol dependency, and then also there is this dependency for the inspector of Model Context Protocol. We'll look at what is the VSCode inspector over here. Just hold on for a while. And then there is a configuration JSON file. Okay, cool. So pretty straightforward for a MCP server. The standard JavaScript folder structure. Nothing out of the way. Cool. Let's now have a look at how this weather MCP server actually looks and how we can actually, talk to this. So in order to run this server, you see this run and debug button. Click that. Over here, just choose debug SAC in the inspector edge. Choose that and let's hit run over here. Now it is going to install the dependencies. Let it install. Okay, so the install dependencies are done and the MCP server, I think, is up. Unable to launch the browser. Let us try to run this one more time, and let's do it with Chrome this time. Let's see. Okay, so I don't have Edge on my machine actually. I'm so sorry. Choose the browser that you already have. Now we see that, okay, so the Chrome has come up and it has successfully authenticated with OAuth. I'm not really sure if it is actually doing it. And let me make it a little big. And now we should see the tools. Yeah. So just click on connect over here and it says connected, and then you should see this option over it says tools, and I clicked on list tools and we get the get weather tool that we saw here under server.ts. Get weather was the only tool that we had and we have it here. Now we can talk to this tool and let's give it a location. Let's call it Dubai. Let's run the tool and we get the location, we get some random temperature, and we get the condition. Okay, so I think this is working. All right, what next now? The template that VSCode gave us, it works just fine. Now we need to add the Kite APIs to this MCP server over here. How do we do that now? Let me open a browser window. Let's go to this URL over here, developers.kite.trade, hit enter. And you will be landing on this page, KiteConnect. Okay. Now maybe you have not logged in. If you are following along, if you have not logged in, it will ask you to log in. So do the login thing. And then over here, you will have to create a new app. So let's create a new app. Now there are 3 plans over here. We are going to choose personal. The only difference I can see is that it is giving us no historical data, whereas with if you can pay something, it will start giving you historical chart data also and live market codes also. So with a personal plan, we do not really get a live market codes and WebSockets. All right, cool. So let's call it the VSCode Kite MCP app. Okay, the redirect to URL. Okay, so we'll be needing this. So for now, let's just keep it to with this and the client ID. So we need the client ID. So I fetch that from my mobile phone. And then we need a postback URL, but that is not a mandatory field. So if you are really building an app, for the general, for the public, so this is actually the URL of a WebSocket, for the WebSocket kind of thing. But if we are just doing it for sale, we don't really need it. But if you were to give it, or maybe if I were to give it right now, I would give it something like, maybe this. Trade callback, okay, and some description. This is an app and include that in a custom MCP server via VSCode. Cool. That's it, create. All right, so we have got this new app. It has got the API key, and if I click on show API secret, I'll get the API secret. Cool. All right. So now we have got a API key and the API secret. Now we actually need the API, right? So look for GitHub Zerodha Sdk, and you will see this link over here. Click that, and over here, this is the KiteConnect API, TypeScript and the JavaScript client. And this is what we need actually. Okay. Now this will give us how we can actually access the SDK or access its APIs that it has exposed via this JS SDK client. Now, what this is about. So it is importing the KiteConnect from the KiteConnect Node.js package. We'll get that. Okay. We need the API key. We need the API secret. And then the request token also we need. So if you see here, we got the API key. We got the API secret. And then there is this KiteConnect object. It is initializing something. It is generating a session. In order to generate a session, we need a request token and the API secret. And then it is setting the access token. Okay. Then once it has set the access token, we have now logged in actually. So then it is getting the profile. So this is what we want to do. After doing the get profile, if we do a KC dot, we'll get some other method that will be doing the trade. Some other method that will be selling the stock, that will be buying a stock for us. All those kind of things will be coming out of this KiteConnect object. All right. How do we bring all of this to our VSCode MCP server over there? Pretty easy. We are not going to really write all of this ourselves. Instead, we are going to ask agent inside VSCode to do it. So how are we going to do it? I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to ask my agent to refer to this link, follow that, getting started with the API section, and create an entire MCP server for KiteConnect for me. Sounds good, right? Let's do it. Refer to this link above. Okay, so what I've done is I've given my AI agent or the agent here in VS Code a prompt. I'm saying refer to the link above. This is the official GitHub repo for Kite.js SDK, which exposes a set of tools or maybe a set of SDK functions to trade programmatically on Kite. Refer to this section here which says getting started with the API. This could be the boilerplate code for creating a tool for our MCP server. Use it to build a MCP server for me and add relevant tools from the KiteConnect JS SDK. Alright, so now you can write this prompt yourself, tweak it a little more, make it more good. Mine is a little raw, but I believe this shall do the job. So I'm going to hit enter now and we'll see the magic happening. Let me stop the server first of all, it is running. So it is reading my package JSON. Now it is asking me to install the KiteConnect. I'm going to say okay. So I think it has, you see npm install KiteConnect it has done. Now I will create the required files for implementing the Kite MCP server tools. I'll read the server file to understand its current state. I'm going to modify server file to add KiteConnect integration and tools, create several tools that represent key functionality from the KiteConnect JS SDK. And now it shall start changing the server.ts file over here. And we'll see it happening here. Okay, so now it has added the code over here. If you see, in a while we'll hit this keep button, let it complete. There are some issues with the KiteConnect import. Just fixing those. One more type adjustment. So it says create. I've created MCP server and I've added the following tools. Okay, I'm going to say keep to all of it. And let's see what it has done now. Okay, so there is some error over here. Did it not import the KiteConnect? It did. Then maybe we'll build it one time and it shall go away. But let's see what it has done. It has made this kite initialize or kite init tool that gets the login URL from our API key. Once it has done that, it is going to generate a session for us. And okay, so if we look at this generate session thing, it will take the API secret and the request token. Request token will be obtained after the login. Okay. And from that, it will set the access token. Tool to get user profile. This will get the user profile. This is to get the margins. This is to place an order. And this is to get the code. Cool. I think it looks okay to me. There is just one error. I'm not sure why. I'm not going to fix it myself. Okay, let's ask the agent to fix it. And let it stop. Okay. Now it is not running and let's ask the agent to fix it. I see an error in the current document. Please fix it. Okay, maybe something wrong with the type. I'm not really sure if we required all of those. So lots of changes. Okay, so I don't see any errors now. Okay, now let's run it and let's see what happens. Let it be debug SSE in Chrome Inspector and let's hit run. Okay, so there is actually no error now. And if I hit connect or authentication, let's hit connect and let's see. Okay, so connected is there. Kite init, initialize the KiteConnect with the API key. Okay, API key issued by Kite. So bring our API key and let it paste here. Run the tool. Result success. Please visit the URL to log in. Okay. Let's copy this. So it needs my user ID. Password is this. So I've got a code. And yes, I'll say authorize. Now this is my request token. I'm going to copy this. And now if I hit this generate tool, I need the request token. I'm going to hit it over here, and I need the API secret. So let me copy this. Let's go back, keep the API secret, run the tool. Okay, so the session generated is successfully and the access token is set. So now we have logged in actually. Now, if I run the kite get profile and if I run it, you will see that it's my profile, Harshit Agarwal. These are the exchanges, these are the products, and DMAT consent is there. And let's see if I can get my margins. Okay, it needs a segment. I want the margins for equity. And yes, enabled. So I have a negative balance of 377. That is because I have not paid, there are some maintenance charges with the Kite app, with the Kite trading app. I have not really paid that in a while. So that is the margin I've got. Okay. And then get quote. What is that? Array of instruments in the format of NSE Reliance. Okay. Let's add it in the same way. And let's run the tool. Insufficient permissions for that code. So we cannot really get the margins because we did not opted for that plan. If you remember, when we were creating this app, we had this option to create a professional kind of app. We did not choose that. Instead, we chose a free app, personal app. Over there, we do not have this. All right, so what else do we have? Are these the only tools or are there anything else also? In order to figure out that, so these are the methods. If you see generate session from kite instance, kite instance.generate session. Similarly, we should have kite instance.get profile. Then we also have kite instance.get margins. So all these methods are coming from kite instance. If I go inside to, if I go inside this method and go to its definition, then this connect.d.ts is the file, and all the other methods will be mentioned over here. So get margins is one, get mutual fund holdings is the other, mutual fund instruments and mutual fund orders. Now where is the actual trading app? We want that, right? That was the only reason we came here. So portfolio holding, okay. So we need a tool for this portfolio holding. Okay, so this is the type. There should be a method which is actually using it. Instrument, historical data, we do not have. Use margin, MF holdings, MF instruments, MF order, MF this. Okay, order ID, trade. Okay, so this is the trading method that we could use. So let's add a tool for that. Now add a tool for trading. And let me first stop it. Okay, what else? Position. For trading positions. Then margins, margin order, virtual contract, response, GTT param. So GTT orders we could already do with the built-in MCP server, KiteConnect. Okay. So let's add two new tools for trading and getting the position. Let's see if the agent is able to do it. So it is working. Okay, yeah. So now it is starting to add those tools in my server.ts file. I've added several new tools: kite get position, get order history, and get trades. Modify order also it has added. Cool. Okay, I'm going to keep all of this. And let me delete this terminal. Okay, so now it has added few more tools. Get positions, convert positions also it has added. I'm not really sure if you have access to those things. Order history it has done. And get trades it has done. Get all trades. Let's see if it is actually able to get all of those, right? Okay, cool. Let's run it again and let's see what happens. Okay, so it is connected and list tools, and we get a few new tools now. Cool. Init, profile, place order, get code, get positions, get trades. Let's see. Okay, so KiteConnect is not initialized. API key. Now, don't worry, we'll automate all of this. So you will not have to enter the API key every time. We're just testing it now. So we need the API key. Okay, visit this URL over here and login. Code. Okay, now we get the request token. Come back and now what? Generate session. This is my request token and I need the API secret. Okay, cool. Now let's get the profile. We already did that, but yes, let's do it again. Okay, it has got Harshit Agarwal. And now let's do get trades. Let's see. So nope, it didn't really give me anything. Get positions. Let's see. So the markets are closed right now and it is not actually getting any of this. Place order. Okay. So it is Saturday and the markets are closed. But let's try it. Let's see what it gives us. So trading symbol. Let's choose a trading symbol. ITC maybe. Okay. So the symbol is ITC. Exchange is NSE. Transaction type. Now what is that? Transaction type could be buy or sell. Okay, so let's do it for sell because we have a negative margin. Quantity, let it be 1. Product type, what is that? So CNC. CNC is for long term. So let's keep it CNC. And then we have this order type. Now what is that? Market order, let it be a market order. Price, now what is the current price? 398.3. So I'm buy for 394, let's say. The markets are closed. Trigger price, let it be 398.3. And let's run the tool. Markets are closed right now. Use GTD for placing long standing orders instead. Okay. So I think it worked. It went, to the API, it hit that API, it went to whatever place it was supposed to, and it told us that the markets are closed right now. So it did happen, things happen. Okay. Now, we'll take it further. Yeah, don't worry. We'll continue this video on Monday also. But for now, there's this little problem over here. Now, every time we want to log in, there are a couple of steps involved. I'll first have to, initialize. I'll have to enter the API key. Then I get then I'll log in using my password over there, and then it will give me a request token. I'll use that and the secret, and then I'll log it in. Let's ask our maybe the agent here itself. What if I can give it the API key, the API secret, can it not, do the OAuth and just log me in, capture the access token and keep using it? Maybe it can merge two tools together and make things easy for us. And also before that, we need some mechanism to log out. So there should be some tool or some SDK function to invalidate our API to invalidate our access token. So let's ask the agent to write that tool also. Okay, so can you also add a tool to invalidate our access token? I'm sure that there will be some SDK function for that. Let's see. So it says, yes, Kite SDK has invalidate access token method to invalidate the current access. I will add a tool for that. So once we have got that tool, a proper logout can also be done. So it is adding it. Okay, so it has done it. Let's hit keep. Let's stop the server. And now if I run it, I should see a new tool present over there that shall say that you can also invalidate it now. Okay, so you see this invalidate token is there. Let's just hit run. KiteConnect is not initialized. Okay, let me initialize it the same way again. Okay, so the API key. Now this is, okay, I'm not going to run it all over again. I'm going to close it. And I'm first going to modify this method. Okay, modify the login thing. I need to call two tools. Can it be made a single step? I can give you the API key and secret and also my password if required. And when the redirect happens, you capture the request token and then make a call to get the access token and keep it. All right. So in order to get the access token, now access token is the main player over here. In order to get the access token, we first need to give the API key login. And then when the callback happens or the postback happens, we get the request token from that. And then we catch that request token, give it to the access token generation wala method, where it uses the request token and the API key, API secret to generate the access token. So I'm saying, can we merge all of this into one, and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so unfortunately, due to Kite security model, it is not possible to do a direct one-step login with just API credential and password. This is because Kite uses OAuth for authentication. Okay, but it is doing something. Let it do. This is because Kite uses OAuth for authentication and requires user interaction through their web interface. This is a security measure to ensure credentials are never directly handed. Two-factor authentication. User explicitly authorizes the application access. However, what I can do is create a more user-friendly flow by creating a new tool that handles both initialization and session generation, setting up an express server. Okay, let it do it. Now what? Let's complete what we were reading. What I can do is create a more user-friendly flow by creating a new tool that handles both initialization and session generation, setting up an express server to handle the redirect callback automatically. Let me modify the code to implement this. Okay, so it has done something. We'll see what it has done. Let me just keep it for now. So what this has done is start express server to handle Kite callback, a request token. Okay, before that something else should be called. Okay, Kite login to Kite with API credentials. Okay, so we give it the API key secret, then initialize the Kite, generate the login URL, and now it knows the callback port. Okay. Click this URL to login. After logging in, you will be redirected to our callback handler. Session will be automatically initialized. You can close the browser window once you see the success message. Fine, let's see. Okay, now, but before that, I need to give it my API key and secret. So let's go back. I'll copy the API key. Then API secret. Add appropriate places in the code. So this agentic workflows have made it so many things easier. What is that? So it is saying that do not keep them directly in the code. Instead, use an environment variable, environment file where these things are held. Okay, so okay. As long as you are doing things, I'm okay. I'm happy. But you ask me to code it, I'm not going to do it. Now just modifying the server code. Okay, I'm going to keep all of this. I'm going to keep this. So now it has added my API key and secret to the environment file, and it is going to read those keys from environment file in the server.ts. Okay, cool. Now let's run it. Okay, connect, list the tools, and let's log in. So if we do not provide anything, it will use it from the environment file. And let's see, run the tool. Please follow the steps to log in. Click this URL to log in. Logging in, you will be redirected to a callback handler. The session will be automatically initialized. You can close the browser. Cool. The system is waiting. You don't need to do anything else after login. Okay. So let me copy this. I'm going to come here and enter invalid API key. Come on, man. You cannot do this. Or has it already leaked it? Okay. So let us give an API key. And let's run the tool. Now let's hit this. Okay, now it is asking me for the password. Mobile code. Okay. So I think the request token was... So guys, it took me a little while to figure out the problem. The problem was very petty. So when we configured the app on Kite website, we gave this redirect URL and the localhost port was 3456. The localhost port that we gave then was 3000. Okay, but that port was already occupied, okay, in our machines. So I asked it to change it to 3001. Okay, but even that was occupied. So we came up with a new port that is 3456 and we also changed it over here 3456 and then I saved it. And now let's run it again and let's see what happens. Okay, so now let's list the tools. Kite login is there and let's run the tool. It says, okay, you go to this link. This link has my API key. And enter your password, enter the mobile code, and now when I do it, I get this login successful. You can close this window and return to VSCode. And now if I hit another tool, let's say get profile, my login is done and I'm able to get my profile or even get codes. The codes will not run, but let's see. Okay, so I need to give it some array. Let's run it again. Add item and it should be in this format. Let me just copy this and paste it. Okay, so come on, something wrong. Okay, let's try something else. Equity. Okay, something has happened again. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, let me close this and run it one more time. I log in again. And I go to this URL which has got my API key. I hit that. I'll have to enter my password. Then I'll have to enter the code from my Kite app on mobile and I have logged in successfully. Now if I close this window and let's hit my get profile and run the tool, I am able to get my username, okay, and the broker, exchanges and all my details. Let's hit the Kite get margins. Let's get it for equity. Run the tool and yes, it works. Now let's invalidate the access token or log out. So it says access token has been invalidated successfully, and if I now try to get my profile, it says the invalid API key or access token. So I have been logged out successfully. Cool. So we could make it work. Now our MCP server is ready. We are able to log in. We are able to place trade. Place trade is something, because it's a Saturday, we cannot really do that. But otherwise it will work. Just fill in the correct parameters. Let me also show you that. I'll show you the parameters and everything. And if I try to make an order, these are the fields that I'll have to fill in. Trading symbol, the stock, exchange, BSE, NSE, transaction type, quantity, how many stocks you want, product type, order type, and all these things. And if I hit my tool then, and if I have the sufficient margins in my account, I'll be actually able to run this tool and the order will be placed. Okay, I'll make a short video of how you can actually do this and link it here in the description of this video so that you can refer to that. Okay, so now this is pretty much done. Let me also log out. Okay, so this is working pretty good. Now we have our MCP server ready, which can actually do some trading. Okay, now it's time we actually add this MCP server to an agent, right? Then only it is meaningful. So we go to now, if you recall, we had this option over here to debug in agent builder. So let's hit that and let's hit run again over here. And now it should bring me that AI agent builder window. You see it has come up and it is trying to load that agent builder over here, all the different things. So give it a little time, it shall load this entire window. Okay, so the agent builder window has come up and let's change it. Let's change the model, or maybe let's keep it this one, 4.1 remote via GitHub, and let's add a prompt, log me in, or maybe do the login flow. Okay, and if I look at the tools here, now you see my MCP server is listed over here, my VSCode Kite MCP server, right? This is what we built. Okay, this is pretty long actually, the name is quite long. See, now it adds the server ID, the server name, so the name becomes a little long. And if I look at the tools, you will see all those tools present over here. Cool, right? So my MCP server is ready. Now I am going to use this with an agent. So my agent is going to use this MCP server and get me results. Let's see. I've given the prompt, do the login flow, and let's hit run now and let's see. Okay, so it says invalid tools1.function.name string too long. Expected a string with maximum length 64 characters but got a string with length 71 instead. Alright, so if you look over here, now this is what I feared actually. The name length has increased. Now you see this thing over here, local server my VSCode Kite MCP server. This thing gets appended along with the tool name and that name gets pretty long. And what I suspect is it is saying tools of 1. So in my tool list, my second tool is kite_generate_session. And it was supposed to be 64, but it became 71. So if I count the length of this, if I append this name with this, it should be around 71. Okay, let us actually count it. So our agent will do that for us, right? So I'm going to say, can you find me the length of each of these two strings? And you will see it is around 71. So that is 32 and that is 20. The server name local is relatively long. If there is a length limit issue, the server name could be the source of the problem rather than the tool name, since the longest tool name we found earlier was 27 characters. The server name appears in two places, task.json and mcp.json. Okay, so it is saying that this could be a problem. I mean, it was smart enough to figure out, it was smart enough to read this error actually. Okay, now it figured out that this guy is getting some problem with the string length. It is saying that server name could be a problem. And if I would like, to get some help, it would modify this to a shorter name. I would say, yes, please modify this to a shorter name. And let's see the magic happening. So it is working. It has changed the name in mcp.json, and now it should also change the task.json file. Also, let's update the server name in the server configuration and server TS. It did that also for me. I hope it doesn't break anything. Okay, I'm going to say keep, and in task also I'm going to say keep, and over here also I'm going to say keep. All right, fine. So I've done my changes, and now let's again go to my agent builder, and maybe it does not change it here. Let's delete this, close this and go back over here, and let's start it again in the agent builder, and maybe the new name shall come up. So it is loading again. Okay, let's see the server name now. My VSCode, I'll say delete this. Okay, so now it has come up, local kite server. Okay, that was the previous one actually. It didn't update it. Instead, it added a new one. Okay, now let's run it and see. Yes. Please provide your API key and API secret. Once you provide these, I'll guide you through the authentication step. Let me know how would you like to proceed. Share API key and secret now. Request a step-by-step guide. Use environmental demo values if set up. Which option do you use? Okay. All right. So the MCP server that we built, that had some API key and secret. But when it comes to agent, they cannot really access those API keys and secret. So we'll have to give them that. And let's put those into our system prompt. I would say use this API key whenever required, or maybe use this API key only for login, and use this API secret when logging in. Okay, let me remove this dash. Okay, now it makes much more sense. Show API secret. I'm going to copy this and let's hit run again. Add to prompts. Okay. Or we could have entered it here also. API key is this and API secret is this. And let's hit run. Okay, so it got my API key secret. Now it says, okay, check this, click this URL. And let me hit that. It asks me for password, then the mobile code. And yes, the login has done. Once you have done this, okay, leave it. And now add to prompts. Let's add a new prompt. Get my profile. Let's say run. So it is able to get my profile. Cool. So it works. Okay. Alright guys. So this was it pretty much for this video. What we learned in this video was we used the VSCode's AI Toolkit. We made a custom MCP server. Now instead of using the Zerodha's APIs, you could actually use your set of APIs and make an MCP server out of it. And then we connected that MCP server to an agent, and then use that agent to get real-time updates from Zerodha. Only thing we did not do in this video was placing an actual trade. I'm going to do that in a short video, in a YouTube short video, and put that link in the description over here in a few days. But otherwise, this is going to do everything for you. Place order, place GDD order, and everything else. So what next? Where is this road actually leading to us? Now, in my first video, what we did was we used the built-in Kite MCP server. In this very video, we made a custom MCP server that also helps us to place trade. Okay. Now let's suppose if we could build a system that can incorporate multiple agents. So one agent can diagnose your portfolio, provide some tips and tricks to convert your portfolio from loss-making portfolio to a profitable portfolio, and then the other agent who can actually perform the steps that were given by the first agent, right? this would be mind blowing. So this is the road that we are actually on. Okay, so please show your love on this video also, and I'll see you in the next one.